love joke, isn't it, Paul?
That you've been doing for about a decade.
Well, when I call up, want you to do a story, I go, even if it's like midnight your time, I go, it's an emergency. Write the story, Paul. Come on. Come on, the Redcoats are coming. You get over there and feed me that belt, boy. No, I mean, do you like working for General Jack T. Ripper? Just let's be honest.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
All right, we're going to do 15 more minutes of overdrive. I'm going to let Paul go right here, but I'm going to come back with Biggs, have about 5 minutes, and then final comments from our two reporters that are there, Rob Dew and, of course, Josh Owens. But 1 minute to break, Paul. Other bombshells you're going to drop on us.
It's all about rebranding authoritarianism. They know that these riots are coming, this civil unrest. You had the billionaire owner of Cartier the other day saying that he's afraid that these artificially intelligent robots will replace people, will basically make them lose their jobs, that's going to cause a mass uprising. So basically Bilderberg wants more class warfare and civil unrest, like George Soros said was coming back in 2012. Now he's funding Black Lives Matter and all these movements that are creating that.
But smart millionaires, almost to a man or woman, who made their money are freaked out trying to stabilize things. So there are some good forces out there.
Yeah, and, you know, sometimes they invite kind of mavericks from the outside, but then you've got all these Google people there. Elon Musk says that Google's basically creating an army of robots that's going to wipe out humanity. And now they invited another one from Google this year. So it seems pretty clear that Bilderberg is fully behind that artificial
Well, you're going to be publishing the full agenda, right, today or tomorrow?
Video's going up today and then the full text tomorrow.
All right, well done, Lord Watson. It's turning out worse than we thought. Can you imagine how bad the police state's going to be when this thing actually kicks off Thursday and the private jets? Oh, yeah, go to the nearby airport. That's where they'll be landing. And then see how the cops act there whenever you're trying to follow the sedans or videotape it, which is what the press would do. I mean, when you've got the Kardashians having a marriage, there's 18 helicopters over it. Yeah. This is 150 world leaders. We're not idiots. We try to cover stuff that really is important, not all the distractions. We're going to get Joe Biggs' take on all this in a moment. But finishing up, Rob Dew and Josh Owens from there in Austria, in the Alps, close to Bilderberg. They've already gone through 2 checkpoints to get to where they are. Other observations, I'd like to talk to Josh in a moment as well. And what are you going to do next, Rob Dew?
Sure. Well, we have a couple reports we need to put together. We want to get those out before they don't become timely. But what's interesting, I'm sitting out here out the back porch looking into the valley. There's 2 horses in front of me eating grass, just like oblivious to the fact that the world leaders are going to be here. And it's just amazing that all around this, there's cops walking in the woods. There's cops at the entrance to the dirt road to our hotel, which, incidentally, Charlie Skelton was supposed to stay at our hotel up here on the mountain. So I'm not sure where he's at now, but he was supposed to be up here. I was looking forward to finally meeting him in person, because I remember talking to him when he finally, when he turned, when he was making a big joke about the whole Bilderberg group. Ha, 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 I'm a comedian guy. And then he got arrested twice at I believe it was Greece where he was at. And, you know, it's just, people don't realize how real it is because they read all this stuff in the newspapers that are like, oh, it's a fake group, it doesn't exist. Well, if it's so fake, why are there checkpoints everywhere? Why do I have a van of cops at the hotel that I'm at and then another van of cops at the entrance to the hotel, to the road, and then there's 2 checkpoints going down to the village? Why so much security?
Because as George Carlin said,
my mind.
Because George Carlin said the owners are in control.
You ain't in it.
It's a big club and you ain't in it.
Big group. Yeah, that's a club they beat you over the head with. George Carlin had it right.
I want to get Josh Owens' take on this situation in closing. Good job, guys. Great job. Let's talk to Josh Owens here real quick, a fellow reporter with Rob Dew. He just joined us.
I have to hand him the phone. Hold on 1 second. I want to get your take. Or tell me you're there. Okay, I'm here.
Okay, Josh, give us your take on what you've seen unfold so far.
Well, I think these are just a bunch of nice guys that are just trying to help us out, you know. They seem like good people. I don't think he was really trying to turn my phone off. I think he was just trying to help me save my battery.
Okay, so I know we were screwing around earlier, but we're not now. Are you telling me they grabbed at your telephone? Tell us what happened.
Yeah, well, when we walked into the police station, the one guy who came up, there was a female sitting down. You guys saw it live, and there was another guy that walked up, and he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Filming," and he lunged for my camera, and then I pulled it back, and he just walked off. I think he knew there was nothing he could do.
Well, there's your headline. Austrian police try to take reporter's camera.
Yeah, it was an intimidation tactic.
Well, we've looked and there's no law. Charlie Skelton was escorted back by 2 vehicles, even though he was supposedly staying at the same lodge as you. So I guess they've gotten to the point now of not letting people through. I guess you're lucky you even made it through.
Austrian police lunge at First Amendment.
Yeah.
Well, when we got stopped at the checkpoint, they made me open every zipper of every bag, and they even tore up the upholstery in the back where there's usually a tire under there. They opened it up. There's no tire there, and they ripped up the upholstery. They pulled up the upholstery to see if, I'm not sure what they thought we were smuggling in. But, yeah, it's outrageous. It's unbelievable.
Well, it's a major governmental secret policy meeting that's totally illegal in the U.S. and other laws, violates the Logan Act and so many others. It's racketeering. I mean, they talk about the Soccer Association meeting in secret and stuff. This is the real deal. And the people that go from LIBOR with all the rigging of the banks, rigging of the interest rates, rigging of the currency rates, this is a criminal mafia. This is the mega mafia 2.0. All right. Well, Josh, anything else you'd like to add?
I believe, this is just the second day we've been here, and I hate to say it, but it seems like this stuff is just going to keep getting worse. They freaked out at first when we weren't filming. They went crazy when we were filming. We got kicked out of the police station. This time, the first time they just looked at our bag. This time that we had to open every single compartment in the bag. Then they ripped up the upholstery. There's no telling where it's going to go. Day 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's going to be it's unbelievable. Bilderberg hasn't even started. Let me put it that way. Bilderberg hasn't even started, and it's already descended into this ridiculousness.
Thank you so much, Josh Owens. Be safe. We'll pray for you. DrudgeReport.com is breaking the electronic Berlin Wall, but Drudge has to link to foreign press. Drudge has to link to foreign press like the London Guardian, the Independent, and others to get English-speaking news. Forget G7 summit. Bilderberg is where the big guns go. Businesses, bosses, lobby politicians on future of EU, and then Infowars.com. Abolition of cash, capital controls. And our story, breaking that down by Paul Joseph Watson. Paul writes, the powerful Bilderberg Group will discuss imposing more capital controls on average citizens, while HSBC, whose group chairman will attend the conference, is set to pay more than $40 million for illegal money laundering involving arms dealers and helping the wealthy avoid taxes. Well, what does Hillary do? She gets money at her foundation when she headed up the State Department to let dictators get weapons. I mean, these are the real criminals, folks. It's very much a case of do as I say, not as I do. And they want to get rid of cash. They admit in press releases so they can tax our money in bail-ins like they're doing in Europe, taking our money so we can't take it and put it in a mattress. They want us fully under their digital control. Very important article by Paul Joseph Watson. And I salute Matt Drudge for being the only big media, he is alternative media, but big media, to cover Bilderberg. Others are ridiculing us. I've got the clips. I'm not going to give them attention. Mainline conservatives are saying we're full of prunes. All right, Joe Biggs, you've got 5 minutes. You've got the floor till we end the transmission. Your overall view on this, your overall view on Cobra, and where you see this going.
Yeah, I definitely see this ramping up more and more. Like Josh said, the security presence definitely going to stand up. And once these elites start coming in to play and these guys are convoying in, you can see a whole grid lockdown. And like I said, my concern is that these guys are really being extra careful because these guys, like I said, they kind of, they kind of go after the ways that like the FBI did. So like you said, the comparison, and we know how the FBI in America stages things as well. So I just hope that these guys are taking extra taking extra steps to make sure that they are checking behind themselves, checking their hotel, and just overall security of what's going on, because I wouldn't put it past these guys to do something like that. Because like you said, it's every day it's ramping up more and more. These guys are walking through the woods. You've got the guy who owns this room where they're staying, saying that there's a good chance they could come back at nighttime. So I'm hoping that, they can keep a good eye out, also get some rest. But maintain some discipline and keep an eye on things.
I almost sent you, but you've been so busy and you wanted to go, but I haven't sent Rob Dew and Josh on something in a while. I know there's some things breaking down up in McKinney by Dallas, and you might be going up to that. But what would you be doing right now if you were in Austria?
Well, definitely pulling back, looking at those maps, trying to see if I can find some alternate routes, maybe circle around into some other cities and then try to come in. There was another back way. Maybe they don't have as much security there. I don't know, but definitely look at those alternate routes.
And all you want to do is videotape the building. I mean, be a journalist.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to go out and hike and get through the woods and find out what's going on. I mean, I'd be kind of curious to see how they react if they approach you in the woods, if they were to take a hike and go up in one of those trails and see what would happen with that as well, you know?
What do you think the strategy is putting checkpoints 6 miles away?
It's for something like that, when you do roving checkpoints and you move them around, you do that whenever you think or you've been told by your higher up that there's a chance that there could be some kind of like outside attack. And like I said, that's what concerns me about how they're saying they're like the FBI. We know that the FBI staged things before, and this would be a way to lock everything down and then not allow anything in there whatsoever. And they could do their secret meeting and then go on about their way and detain journalists.
Shifting gears, the Soros destabilization program is in full swing. What do you think of that video of the cops mainly grabbing black kids at a swimming pool in McKinney up by Dallas? And then now, I mean, I think the cop is a little out of control. But then now the response of burning American flags and stuff, how is that now the default response?
Because you get these same George Soros-funded people coming in, these pawns that are working for him. They show up to... There's this one guy, his name's DeRay something. He shows up at every protest. He's got like 140,000 Twitter followers, and he's like the main like voice. He's like the celebrity Black Lives Matter guy. And he tweeted out last night, said, "Oh my God, it was so nice to come to Texas and see so many familiar faces. People from Ferguson, Baltimore, Cleveland, D.C. It's the same people that go around to all these things. They take an incident and then they blow it up. And then they're out there just trying to get a paycheck. You know, what's happened in McKinney? Yeah, the officer to pull a gun on a bunch of teenagers they're obviously in bathing suits at a pool party. That's pretty extreme.
And they're just standing like 10 feet away.
Yeah.
But again, they're just training the cops to act like they're commandos in World War I or something. And they're just so ready to go. It's just explosive.
Well, I mean, you know, when I was a kid, I've had run-ins with police, and they would always approach you, ask you what was going on. And then, you know, as a last resort, ever reach for a gun. Now it's a reach for the gun first and then try to figure everything out later on in court.
And it escalates everything. It's just crazy. And then the globalists that have engineered this mindset are going to play on that to make it even worse. That's it for extended coverage of Bilderberg. Tonight, more. And the latest breaking news at Infowars.com. But tonight, 7 o'clock Central, Infowars Nightly News. Help us.